Maryland.
Wait a minute, dude, hold on. Time out.
What?
Oh, you being rude.
No, you talked last time. I'm gonna start it off.
Well, you could have gave me a chance to say what I was gonna say, put the period, and then start talking.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. It's my favorite day of the week. Married at first sight.
Yes,
Wednesday.
Sir. And I'm James, RealNesters.
But I'm the Crystal, RealNesters.
I got my hat on for this one. Ooh, hey look, you didn't even notice I shaved today.
I always know.
Yes, sir. We gotta get into it. We got another review for you live as it's happening. We should have went live though.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, we gotta do that. We gotta do that on season finale. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's show is called Jeers, and 25ct Martinis. Yeah. You messed it up, babe.
We can't go live.
Nah.
We could go live.
Nah, not tonight. Not tonight.
On Instagram.
I'm trying to eat my snacks.
Anyway. Well, tell them what's going on so far in the first episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting closer and closer to D-Day. Whether you see the D-Day as Divorce Day or the D-Day as in Decision Day, either way, it's a D-Day. So, it says it is 17 days to D-Day.
Ooh.
And, excuse me, at this point, the little background commentator is like, oh, the couples are getting to know what things annoy them about the other one, blah, blah, blah.
Apparently,
so it starts off, what are you doing? Pay attention, baby.
I tried to get on the Instagram.
So, it starts off with everybody doing a little sneak peek into their day, starting together.
Yeah.
But then there is Johnny and Ryan, and they're hanging out playing pool. And you guys, I'm just going to jump into this thing. So, when the show first started, Johnny was hanging out with Jose. Jose was his bro, He liked Jose. He liked where Jose and his relationship was going. And he wanted to hang out so he could be more like him, so he could get his relationship the same way.
Yeah.
So, now we're at a place where he's hanging out with Ryan.
Ooh.
And if you guys all remember, Ryan and Brett are not doing so well. So he's hanging out with Ryan. He even said in his interview that Ryan is a bit negative about the whole thing. And yet, he hangs out with Ryan, and he comes home and basically picks a fight with Bao. They're on their way to bed, and he picks a fight with Bao. Anyway, so basically, Ryan was just telling him he got to keep it real and be honest, with himself. Yeah, you about to get a spanking. Remember how when you was at the table with your mama, and you're not supposed to put your elbows or sing at the table, and you got popped? You're about to get popped.
It keep doing it.
Because you keep fooling around.
I can't stop.
Anyway.
I can't stop it.
Anyway, so he basically tells Bao he wants to take sex out of it and focus only on the friendship.
Ooh.
And Bao was saying to him, at this point, I'm confused. I thought things was going well. And, yeah. That's what he said. He said that if,
16 days until decision.
I already said that. He said to Ryan that Bao, at first he felt like Bao wasn't listening. Now, this week, he felt like she's overly listening to everything he said and trying to do it. And then he said, I guess I should appreciate it. And Ryan's like, So, needless to say, like I said, he goes home, he picks a fight with Bao. And Belle, basically said to him, I'm starting to feel like if we don't do things your way, then it's a problem. And he catches a tizzy, jump up out the bed, and she's like, we're just talking. Like, the one super cool thing about Belle, which I know everybody wish they could do, is she is so, what they call it, melatonin. Like, she never raises her voice. She talks to him.
Yeah.
Whether heated
level.
At all times, whether she's heated, whether she,
It's like she's on cruise control. Ooh, I did that. I said that.
Okay.
I said that. It's like
so, and she said to him, like, Johnny, what's wrong? We're just talking. Can you let me know what you're upset about? And he's like, I got a lot to say. And she's like, okay, say it so I can understand what's happening. I think he, at this point, is self-sabotaging. I think we said this last week. And he's trying to crash the marriage.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was on purpose at first, but I'm starting to think it's because of fear of actually having to change some of his habits.
Yeah.
He's used to just dating multiple women. He's a serial dater, basically.
Apparently this picture shows how you...
Where's my belt? Where is my belt? Your phone is gonna go in the drawer. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I just don't understand what Johnny is doing right now. And poor Bao, she's like, she's trying to make it work and everything. And this was my favorite couple, and he is mucking it up. This could be a beautiful thing, and he's mucking it up. On purpose, it feels like.
Down goes Fraser.
So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know how we do it today. We give y'all blow by blow, session by session, piece by piece. So, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
I'm
turn it down.
I'm going to bust up my phone and make noise while you talking.
Look at you. We started out with Marilyn saying the experts, and she was a little tipsy when she went in to see.
Not tipsy, she was drunk.
She's tipsy when she saw Dr. Pepper. Now, she said that she really loves Gibb. She glad, that they matched them up. She really cares about him. And she said this while she was drunk. So, your true talk and your true spirits come out when you're a little tipsy.
Spirits.
So, yeah. So, I believe she really does love Gil, and I think they're going to be the only couple that stay together. Oh, yeah, well, that's how you start off. Bang, bang, bang. That's how you start off.
You finished talking about Marilyn before we move?
That's how
okay, so let's add that she was crying, by the way, you guys. Mirla was crying.
Yeah.
Why are you crying?
But Dr. Pepper did bring up to her that she's a bit critical and she needs to work on that, or she's going to chase Gil away, basically.
Yeah.
And that's how that part, basically to speak his truth, because she's so negative.
Yeah.
That was the same thing Pastor Cal brought up about her being negative, and how negativity from her could rub off on him eventually and make their relationship toxic.
Negative Nancy.
Yeah, Gil mentioned that, she has those temper tantrums. And he did start off saying a whole lot of good things, though, about how their relationship is great. They're very honest with each other. Yeah. He definitely could see why they were matched. So, but Pastor Cal told him he need to home in on, because their thing at this point is find the problem, or the root of the problem, and let's chop it down so we can know y'all can make it a past D-Day.
Yeah.
So for Gil and Mirla, it's negativity in their relationship. And then they hopped on over, which is interesting enough, to Michaela and Zach.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach.
Crybaby Zach.
Met with Dr. Pepper. Would you like to take it over?
No, you go ahead. I'm controlling the scene.
With a gangster pause. Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I wonder why they didn't send Zach to Pastor Cal. Because usually, Dr. Pepper is the one that cuts through the crap and give you it raw. Pastor Cal does too, but they do it in two totally different ways.
Yeah.
So, Zach is a little sensitive. Maybe that's why they sent him to Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
But so basically, Zach was saying he's questioning if if he's really happy, or if he's pretending to be happy to make the relationship work. He also said, things are going well for now with him and Michaela, with them hanging out and dating, and that's what he wants to see.
Right now.
Yeah, that's the consistency he wants to see. So Dr. Pepper brought up, how can she feel like Zach should ask Michaela, or he needs to think about what can he do to make Michaela feel more secure in their relationship. Then she also told him when they're talking, ask Michaela questions and avoid using extreme terminologies. So basically, like saying, oh, what you think I'm going to leave? Or you think this is going to be over? That's a big deal. And those are triggers in which, you gotta know that your girl is a counselor, right? So if y'all check back in a couple of videos, I said that Zach, he keeps saying he run into the same type females. It's because he says certain things that triggers certain behaviors.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Michaela
Patterns.
I'm not saying Michaela shouldn't be responsible for her actions. What I'm saying is it's a certain way he says things, and then it become a screw you type of attitude, and then that's when you get the crazy Michaela. He also ended up crying, and he was saying because he realized he's been a perfectionist all his life.
Why you always crying?
And it got him to where he is, but he's putting that weight on Michaela, which is probably causing problems in their relationship. Yeah. Which was an awesome revelation for him to have. That knowing that, for me, I felt like in listening to most of them talk, especially Zach and Michaela, marriage is work. Like, Johnny, he's another one. They just want to do the wedding cake, the birthday pictures, the childbirth, but they don't realize that all of the stuff in between, the day to day, you have to get up and work. You have to, sometimes compromise. Sometimes you have to do a little more, a little extra, or maybe even a little less, depending on who you are in your relationship to make a relationship work. And these people seem to have a very self-centered mentality going into these relationships. Like, this is what I need and what I want. And they're forgetting that you signed up to go with this person. So, like Val said earlier, what about my needs and my wants?
Yeah.
Then we're going to hop over to Michaela and Pastor Cal. So he started out by asking, asking Michaela, what is it right now that she thinks she need to ask Zach to help them get through decision day? And her first question was, what was Zach's picture of marriage? And Pastor Cal said that's a great question, because a lot of people don't make it really good through this process because they have a fake image in their head, and they're so busy trying to make people fit into that image that's not real. So also she was looking pretty crazy, because she was saying that she just wants Zach to be happy. And Pastor Cal was like, well, you can make him happy. And she's like, well, that's too much responsibility to put on me. And he's like, no, y'all are in this together. He's not in this by himself. So if you figure it out, then y'all supposed to work together to keep him happy. So she needs to know what makes Zach happy as well. And she's saying overall she feels like Zach is not happy in their relationship. So, you guys, again, like I said, and Michaela makes a lot of faces, which also sets Zach off too, because, I think he's a very emotional person. So when she starts making like those weird little funny, like, when we was in school and people would tell a lie, we would turn our lips up to the side like, they lying. I think when she does stuff like that, he just cuts off from her and he's done. So he doesn't, when they're in a serious conversation, he doesn't have a lot of room for her playful mentality. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we still got 3 more couples to go.
There it is.
And we'll be back.
Wrapping up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And this show just keeps banging and booming and explosives from the left to the right. As soon as you think you're riding on the roller coaster, it flips upside down.
Flips upside design.
Anyway, there's so much going on. I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to give you these notes that y'all better follow or hold on with your hats because it's about to go down to them DMs. So, they went and had a group time playing volleyball. Long story short, Johnny
Bow
showed up as a cheerleader, and Johnny went over and hugged her, and she was quite confused because the day before they had the argument after their meetings with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal.
Yeah.
Then the girls sit down, which was Bow, Mirla, and Brett. And long story short, you know, Bow and Brett feel like they're in the same boat. And Brett made the comment that there's some people who got in this for marriage, and then there's some people who don't want to be married. And then they showed a picture of Johnny. They flashed over to Johnny and Ryan. So, right after that, it seemed like everybody else was getting along for the most part, though. And right after that, it went to Michaela and Zach.
Yeah.
So, they...
Man, trashing.
Yeah, they, evidently, on their way home at some point, they had a... They was getting along, everything was well. They had a conversation about if that particular day was decision day, what would they say? And they both said no. From that point, they was prepping for bed, and Michaela didn't want to sleep in the same bed with Zach.
Yeah.
So Zach cut the camera on, and he's like, so they're going back and forth explaining their side. And Michaela's like, if the answer for decision day is no, then I don't see why we sleeping together. So
we're sleeping in the same bed.
Well, sleeping in the same bed, not intimate, but sleeping in the same bed. And Zach is like, well, we're in progression. I think things are going well. We're going uphill, so I don't understand why we wouldn't sleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
So long story short, they went back and forth quite a while about that, and then once they got into the bed, Michaela, of course, told him, you know, he had to sleep in the other room. And he said, well, if I got to sleep in the other room, I might as well go home where my bed's comfortable. And I guess she said, I don't care, or go ahead. And he did it. And then he said he received a text about an hour later saying, you know, I didn't want you to leave the place. And since you left, I'm moving out. So then the next scene is where Zach... They were having a family meeting with him. It was supposed to be him, Michaela, and his brothers. So, of course, Michaela didn't show up to the meeting. He was explaining to them what had just happened. And he's upset because he's like, this is the second time Michaela moved out. And he said that she's petty because she took things like the seasonings out the cabinet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You guys. Woo! These two.
It's about to go down.
So, you know, I mean, I get Michaela's point that if you don't feel like we're together, what's the point of sleeping in the same bed? But at the same time, I get Zach's point where he's like, well, we're not arguing, right? You know, we're not having problems. This was based off of previous issues.
Yeah.
That if someone asked me today, would I say no? I would say no. But...
Did she flip-flopping, but say, well, my answer would be different tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yep.
Like you say, bipolar.
Yeah, they just, you know, get a little crazy. And it's so intense, though, you guys. Like, the argument was, you know, I don't know. Those two just definitely, they're not healthy for each other.
I just see her running around the house just throwing stuff, smashing stuff.
Yeah, because they showed previews for next week. You guys, if you have not watched this show or you trying to catch up, just watch next week. Because it's going to be super intense.
Oh, yeah.
So, also, ladies and gentlemen, I realized that we didn't wrap up with Rachel and Jose. I thought we did, but we didn't. So, Dr. Pepper talked to Jose about being controlling. He shared with her that he's scared that Rachel was going to leave at the first sign of real trouble. So Dr. Pepper basically said, questions are your best friend. You need to sit down and have these conversations with your wife. And, when they talked about Rachel leaving, she also reminded him that he showed Rachel his ugly side and how angry and aggressive he can get.
Yeah.
And then Rachel talked with Pastor Cal, and she said she, basically she loves Jose. She feels like overall he is the one for her. Her concern was that Jose really doesn't request anything from her. Like, she doesn't know, what his needs are, what she needs to meet. And she also said her other issue is, she's seen that he could be very vindictive when he's angry. So Pastor Cal, of course, suggested that she has some conversations with him about it. They met after. They talked about it. Rachel confirmed to him that single Rachel is gone, so she doesn't plan on leaving him again. But she do want him to work on, his negative attitude. And he said in order for him to do that moving forward, he just needs time to cool down. Yeah. And he has to, basically train himself to say to her, I need a moment, versus him just storming off or walking out or whatever.
Yeah.
So, they're looking pretty good again, you guys. I gotta tell you, I honestly didn't think they're gonna make it, but I think this is my couple I'm possibly gonna be wrong about. I think they might actually make it on D-Day. So Ryan and Brett, we shared the first part about them meeting separately, but their aftermath conversation, Ryan came in with a different attitude because he said he told Dr. Pepper he was going to try. And as they sit down to talk, while he really didn't get to a place where he was asking Brett questions, he kind of asked Brett, he said, so what did you and Pastor Cal talk about? What homework or question did he give you to ask me? And she just went mute. She didn't say a word. And that, if you see that scene, it changed the energy of the room. He didn't want to talk anymore either, because I believe he felt like, I know he told you something, right? Yeah. So she didn't ask the question, but they did talk about, trying to be better communicators so they didn't stress each other out, which neither one of them really did in that scene.
Yeah.
So this was a little while later in the show, but I'll jump over to it. Brett ended up meeting with Ryan's sister. And she said it's something that she wanted to do for a long time. Basically, she just wanted to pick her brain about their relationship. And any advice she could give. So long story short, his sister says, you both are introverts, but he's the type of introvert, if you push him, he's either going to shut down, leave, or get quiet. And the second thing, she hinted to that Ryan might have a lady distraction. Because she's saying she's saying that, she FaceTimed with them. She seen how happy they were on the honeymoon, even a little bit after they got back. So she had asked her, she said, well, when did he turn on you? And she was like, maybe a week after we got back or so. And she said, because when he got back here, there's distractions. So
she's trying not to dry snitch.
Well, that was exactly what she did, was dry snitching. So let's see. Let's get ready to wrap this thing up.
Cause he needed more. He probably got another girl that's like more athletic and outdoorsy.
No, they actually said it. Remember, his family said it in the beginning. He dates Barbie dolls. Like, they're very beautiful, but they all said they have no substance.
Yeah.
So when he keeps saying that Brett is not his type, it's because it's not about her beauty. She actually has a brain. She actually could communicate. They're saying the other ladies wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
And his family, I think it was his mom and maybe his brother and sister-in-law actually hinted to her that it was a possibility that they wouldn't work out because she actually could have her full conversation. They said the women he they can't have conversation with. I did touch on Michaela and Zach, but to wrap up my notes on them, so I kind of spoiled it for you guys already, but you know, when they had their aftermath meeting, you know, Zach was being honest about him being a perfectionist and putting it on Michaela. They talked about what they expected marriage to look like. Zach, you know, was just thinking of the family loving moment with a husband and wife and the kids, and they in the house singing "Do Da Day" and fixing breakfast together. Whereas Michaela ideal marriage is where they set goals and attack goals as a couple together. Michaela said in that conversation she had her guard up because of everything that has happened, and she doesn't really trust that Zach was happy.
Yeah.
So
she watched him real close. One eye open, one eye closed.
Yeah, you guys. So overall, you know, again, we are probably about 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out from decision day.
Just gonna have the trip the next time.
They gotta have the trip.
It's gonna be like right before decision day, the next one, and then the third one's gonna be decision day.
At this point, I would say that, well, he says that Mirla and Gil are going to be the only couple left.
Yeah.
I do think Jose and Rachel will say yes on D-Day. But the other three is a no, because Johnny, he crashed that car. Like, Bao is starting to see him totally different. But to wrap this thing up, this is very stressful watching it, you guys. You know, we thank you as always for spending time with us. So we hope you enjoy our review and our commentary along with our review. Don't forget to give us some thumbs up. Comment down below what you think. I don't think we ever put that poll up that we were supposed to put up, but we need to do that before D-Day.
Well, I tried to put it up, but it only allowed you a certain amount of choices, so we couldn't put all the couples' names.
Oh, well, we might have to do it as some kind of two-part or
couples
something.
Up, yeah.
But we will see y'all on the next video.
Hey.